For some women, the burning desire for vengeance is a dangerous emotion.
Revenge is the #1 motivator of murder. It's a very powerful force.
And deadly revenge can be taken anywhere. Even the lobby of a 4-star hotel.
Clara Harris, by all accounts, is a really wonderful human being. For this one brief moment in her life, she lost it. She was a wild animal.
Clara Harris emigrated from Colombia and found the American dream.
Oh, hey, girl. Hello. What's up? Looks good.
College education, marriage to a wealthy dentist, a lavish home. But the dream has a fatal flaw. Her husband, David Harris.
What's this?
It's a salad. I made it for you.
Yeah, but I don't like rocket in my salad.
David Harris was a self-indulgent, egotistical clod. Everything about David was have the best of everything, have the best looking woman, have the best car, have the best house on the block, which they did.
Texan author Stephen Long says that while David Harris seems to have it all, he still wants more. He wants his receptionist, Gail Bridges.
Gail Bridges is a little cutie. She's a pretty good-looking woman herself. So it was a situation where David just wanted it all.
For months, David cheats on Clara Harris, barely covering his tracks.
The affair became quite obvious to the employees in David's orthodontist's office. And one of them eventually went to Clara and told her.
David's affair will become his death sentence.
Hey, Noah.
Where have you been?
I've been out with the guys.
Out with Gail, you mean?
When Clara found out her husband was having an affair, her world ended.
I am your wife! I am your wife!
To lose her husband was to lose everything that was important to her.
Do you love her? Do you love her?
Her standing in the community, how others saw her, everything. And she could not deal with that.
A shattered Clara won't leave her husband. She responds with obsession about her rival for David's love.
She begged him to know about the other woman, demanded that he tell her about the other woman.
According to private investigator Bobby Baca, that request sparks a searing comeback.
And he said, okay, here's the differences. She has a boob job, you don't. She has little feet, you have big feet.
She's got no fat. No fat. She's perfect.
She fits better in bed with me than you do. She's smaller, she's more petite. You're fat, she's not. She basically made him tear her ego down.
For David to tell Clara he was having an affair with another woman was like stabbing her in the heart. But to give her details and compare her to the other woman was like turning the knife. Clara couldn't take it.
With jealous determination, Clara sheds the pounds. But the affair goes on.
Clara was desperate to save her marriage. and she thought, because of things David said, that if she lost weight, if she was prettier, if they made love more often, that would be all it would take. But those are very shallow fixes for a very damaged marriage.
Soon, the damage to her marriage will be complete when Clara takes matters into her own hands.
He tells Clara he's going to break up with Gail, and he takes Gail to bed. He couldn't possibly have been thinking about what Clara would do.
On an upscale Houston street, in a lavish house, a marriage is on the rocks. Clara Harris is becoming desperate.
There's no evidence that Clara has any kind of psychiatric disorder. She had cheating husband disorder. For her, big problem.
Dentist David Harris has been caught having an affair with his receptionist, Gail Bridges. His next lie will turn this once loving wife into a killer.
David told Clara that he was going to meet with Gail and break off the relationship once and for all.
But Clara doesn't trust her husband anymore. She goes to private investigator Bobby Baca.
She said, here's all the case information. He's going to meet her tonight. If you can get close and get recordings of what they're saying. She wanted that.
Bobby puts one of her team on the case. She soon discovers that David Harris has no plans to break up with his lover, Gail.
He went up into a hotel, checked into the hotel. He was with the other woman.
Wait a minute, sexy boy.
And at that point, we just wait for them to come out and video them coming out. And there's no reason why a married man would be alone in a hotel with another woman unless there is adultery.
Oh, I can't believe it. And he lied to me, and he's down here. Right, Mom. I'm so sick of it. Mom.
When Clara learns the truth from the PI firm,
I'm so furious.
she snaps.
Just leave it, just leave it.
Enraged, she makes 16-year-old stepdaughter Lindsay phone her father
Harris.
Daddy, you have to come home, Bradley, soon.
with a lie to lure the lovers out.
All right. Okay.
Good. Thank you very much.
And that is where our story really becomes incredibly violent, because she saw them come downstairs, get out of an elevator, hand in hand.
That's what you're about, is it?
And Clara Harris lost it. Clara attacked Gail and wrestled her to the ground in the lobby of this hotel.
She snapped. Flying into a rage, not caring who she hurt or how badly.
It's more than just a struggle. Clara's vengeful fury is shocking.
The fact that Clara attacked Gail, and then once she was pulled off, went back and bit her, she's acting like an animal.
Then, the final humiliation.
David Harris told her, it's over, Clara. You've blown it, it's over. And he walked out with the other woman.
But it isn't over. This fight is about to enter its final bloody round.
I don't think there was much going on in Clara's mind at the time of the attack. Just needing to destroy the two people who had destroyed her. If she had a gun, she would have shot them right there. If she'd had a knife, she would have stabbed them. She had her hands, she had her teeth, and then she had her car.
Clara guns the car. In her blind anger, she's racing through the parking lot.
She came around. That's when my PI first saw her.
David is escorting Gail around the hotel to the back. David pushed Gail. He did not get out of the way. Clara hit him.
According to my investigator, when Clara's car struck David, his face hit the dash and his teeth were flying everywhere.
There's more horror to come. As Clara turns the car.
And then began this circuitous route of her coming back around to run over him again and again and again. Every time that car went over David Harris, it was like a meat grinder.
Stop, Mom, please.
From the passenger seat,
We're killing him.
Lindsay Harris is forced to witness her own father's death.
Clara stopped the car and got out and grabbed David, who was at that time barely breathing. And she picked him up and said, "David, look at what you made me do."
Clara Harris is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison.
I think Clara killed David because David killed their marriage.
After years of belittlement and an ongoing affair, Clara could not be pushed any further.
The only way to end that kind of pain was to kill the source of the pain. It's lucky that Gail wasn't also killed.
The problem is that Clara Harris loved David too much. She loved him to the point that she was willing to kill to keep anyone from having him. Unfortunately, it was David who she was willing to kill.
In Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Halloween is still weeks away. But an odd couple are stalking the streets in disguise.
She was seen a couple of times by different people wearing this same disguise.
While it seems like a joke, the intent is deadly. Jill Coit is staking out a kill.
It wasn't an easy death, and it was a very messy crime scene. It had to be horrific for him.
In the tight-knit ski town of Steamboat Springs, Jerry Boggs runs the local hardware store.
Jerry Boggs was a well-established gentleman in the community. Family had been here for a long time, and he had a certain amount of wealth.
single mother Jill Coit is new to town.
Jill was the kind of person that fit in very well. She was very outgoing, a very friendly persona.
Jill and her sons are renovating a local bed and breakfast. She soon becomes a regular at Jerry's store.
I think when Jill came along, she showed an attraction to him, and that was exciting to him. And he fell head over heels in love with this woman.
Writer Stephen Singular has investigated Jill's past.
When she was young, she was quite attractive. A beautiful, peachy type of complexion, dark hair. She thought she had a little bit of Native American blood in her, and so that was a bit exotic.
The ex-model knows exactly how to grab a man's attention.
She would come on very strong with men. She dressed flamboyantly, she dressed provocatively, she talked a lot, so she made quite a stir whenever she showed up in the room.
Jerry Boggs is overwhelmed by Jill's southern charm. Within months, the 50-year-old bachelor marries for the first time. But it's a shotgun wedding. Jill has told Jerry she's pregnant.
Honey, look at all the great things I got from the store.
Honey, what are you?
He can't believe his good luck.
And he went out and bought all these books about, having children. He built this nursery. He was enormously looking forward to being a father. So this was a huge event for him.
But Jill Coit's pregnancy is a lie.
Her stomach didn't get any bigger, and they would go places, and he had friends, and the women would come up and say, "Gee, you sure aren't showing any signs of pregnancy."
Stop it, Maya! There's nothing wrong with me.
How many times you gotta go through this? I know.
Jerry's brother Doug is getting worried. Jill is growing very interested
Look at this.
in the finances of the family business.
Just a minute. That's my Harper store. Exactly.
Doug was disturbed enough by this, I believe, to ask a private detective to start to look into her background.
Look at this. These are divorce papers.
Doug hands Jerry an explosive file on Jill's past.
Jerry had found out that Jill was a massive, massive fraud.
Jill Coit has been married 11 times.
Here was a woman with about 10, 12, 14 aliases. Here was a woman with about the same number of marriages.
Where did you get this stuff? It's all.
Here was a woman who had probably been involved in a number of insurance scams and financial scams.
This one thinks she's untouchable.
She had really gotten away with a lot of criminal behavior.
This woman is dangerous.
Jill saw marriage as a means to an end, a way to get money from men.
And this fortune-hunting bigamist is still married to husband number 7. Shocked to his core, Jerry annuls their marriage. Jill doesn't take it well.
Jerry interfered with her financial plans, which I think is her motive for everything she does, is greed and money. And because Jerry was interfering with those plans, she had to eliminate him.
Okay, what?
It wasn't an easy death. It had to be horrific for him.
Jill Coit is an ex-model. A woman of many faces and many dangers, if you're a man.
Jill saw men as a target of opportunity. And I think she looked for men that had trouble with relationships or even having a relationship.
She was so brazen in her use of her sexuality to attract the attention of men and to manipulate them.
Jill Coit is a skilled fortune hunter.
It would take a very strong man and a man experienced in life, experience with women, to be able to spot what Jill was really all about. Most men couldn't.
Where did you get this stuff?
But her latest husband, Jerry Boggs, has discovered Jill's lies.
Just look at this. I'm telling you, this woman
Distraught, he cuts her out of his life.
Look through this.
Now Jill wants revenge on Jerry. To get it, she tangles a new man in her deadly web. Michael Backus.
She convinced him that Jerry Boggs was a bad person, and she convinced him that the only way to get rid of this bad person is to kill him.
Jill returns to the house she once shared with Jerry Boggs.
Okay, what?
There was an altercation. Stun gun was used. Jerry went down.
I want you to die! Hey! Hey,
He was struck violently. It split his face open from the top of his head down across his face.
Jerry stopped Jill's plans to get his money. Now she will have the final word.
I want you to die!
Jill shot him in the back with the .22 caliber pistol.
This man didn't go easy. Jerry Boggs died a very painful death. The man didn't have to be tortured the way he was tortured.
Let's go! Let's go!
Murder's a very drastic measure, but Jill was a very grandiose person. Jill did what Jill wanted to do and thought she could pull anything off.
As local detectives investigate this shocking murder, they discover more of Jill's secrets.
She had been married to men almost all over the United States, and they kept dying.
What are you doing here?
Well, you want
Back in Houston, William Coit was husband number 3.
Well, come on in and make it quick. Seems a little ridiculous to me. I don't understand why you would even consider coming.
William Coit was shot very similarly in the manner of Jerry Boggs. He was shot 3 times in the back with a small caliber handgun and found at the back door of his house.
While Jill is the prime suspect, William Coit's murder is never solved. The death of Jerry Boggs won't fade so quietly.
Let's go! Let's go!
After the murder, Jill makes a fateful phone call.
Jill Coit called her son Seth at the bed and breakfast, and she made a statement.
My baby, it's over, and it's messy.
This time, his mother has gone too far.
When he learned that Jerry Boggs was dead, was absolutely terrified. The last thing he wanted to do was to be involved in this.
Her son's testimony helps close the case against Jill Coit. Found guilty of first-degree murder. She's currently serving life without parole.
I don't believe Jill Coit to this day will even admit that she did this murder. She's a woman without a conscience, and I don't think she's lost a night's sleep over it.
Whatever was in her that keeps the rest of us civilized was not there.
She is a cold-blooded killer. And if we didn't catch her, rest assured she would have killed again. I'd say she's a bad girl.
The vast Arizona desert holds many secrets. Not all of them are meant to stay hidden.
It was very hot, dusty. You could smell the odor in the air. Just a rotten, putrid smell.
October 2004, Phoenix detective David Barnes is called to investigate the contents of a mysterious container.
I remember looking down into the tub and just seeing just a torso and seeing the white flesh of a stomach area of a portion of a man.
The dead man has a story that Detective Barnes will never get over.
How could she do that to the father of her son?
Nowhere. He'll be around this somewhere. There he is. He's the Cowboys.
At age 44, Jay Orban thinks he has it all.
Gotcha.
His business is booming. He has a beautiful son, Noah,
Okay, come on.
and a glamorous wife, Marjorie.
That's right. Okay, you just...
Jay Orban absolutely adored Marjorie. He had a ring designed for her with a large diamond in it. He had bought her a new car. He certainly wanted to ensure that she was living the lifestyle that she wanted.
From the outside, Marjorie seems like a devoted housewife.
She cooked, she baked, she cleaned the house, she did home improvement projects, she cared for her son.
As journalist Shanna Hogan investigates Marjorie Orban's story, she finds a surprising past.
She grew up with ambitions of becoming a professional dancer, and along the way, her life took an X-rated detour, and she found herself stripping.
Marjorie loves having an audience of male admirers.
One of the things she cared most about was being physically desired by lots of men.
Manipulating men is her real skill in life.
She comes across as an attractive lady, very charming, very nice, very sweet, but very manipulative.
She was very good at using others to get what she wanted.
But Marjorie is getting older, and something in her life is missing.
She was able to convince people to give her things, but the one thing that she could never have was a baby.
Then, one night in Vegas, a man from her past appears. Ex-boyfriend Jay Orban has been obsessed with Marjorie for 10 years.
Jay was a businessman. He was a wealthy entrepreneur. And every city he traveled to, he looked for Marjorie.
Desperate for her love, Jay makes Marjorie an offer she won't refuse. Marriage and the baby she wants so badly. But with Marjorie Orban, nothing comes for free.
She made him a bargain. If she would come to Arizona and live with them for 2 years, and if after those 2 years she wasn't pregnant, then she would leave him.
For Jay Orban, it will become a pact with the devil. Years later, Marjorie has the child she wanted, while Noah is the apple of his father's eye.
My birthday boy.
Mom controls his every move.
Marjorie had to have complete control over her son, from what he did to what he looked like. And from an early age, she was actually bleaching his hair blonde to match hers.
You had a great day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't like him to have any resemblance to his father.
Marjorie has gotten all she ever wanted from her husband. She doesn't need him anymore.
Marjorie was always talking down about Jay. What a bad person he was, what a horrible lover he was, you know, how disgusting he was.
But to discard him through divorce will leave her broke.
I believe Marjorie was to get about $700 or $750 a month for child custody. That's it.
We estimated that his entire estate was about $1.5 million.
To his beloved wife, Jay Orban is worth more dead than alive.
On September 8th, 2004, Jay Orban came home early from a business trip. It was his 45th birthday, but he never made it inside the house.
Marjorie Orban's husband, Jay, is missing. Instead of grieving, she's having the time of her life.
She immediately started to drain the bank accounts. And she bought a $12,000 piano immediately. She had the house repainted. She bought new patio furniture, new water fixtures for the yard. She was maxing out the credit cards. And also, she was hoarding cash.
That's not all. Within weeks, Marjorie moves on to a new man, Larry Weisberg.
They were living like a family. Like, they had dinners together, they watched movies. She even convinced her son to call him Dad. She believed that she was going to seamlessly take her husband out of the picture and put this new man in her life.
Airbrushing one husband away for another is nothing new for Marjorie.
Marjorie was married 7 times before the age of 34. She lived her entire life perpetually in the honeymoon period of every relationship. She was in these very brief relationships that lasted about 2 years, and when she became bored or dissatisfied, she moved on to her next lover.
Former FBI profiler Candice DeLong has seen this pattern in female fortune hunters before.
Number one, they're above average intelligence, and I do believe Marjorie is of above average intelligence. And number two, there's a certain amount of arrogance about them. They actually believe they can kill their spouse and get away with it.
The night Jay came home, I don't believe he suspected anything was wrong or anything was going to happen to him.
Hello, honey? What's going on? Oh.
Jay was taken by surprise and he was killed instantly.
Now Marjorie's plan turns macabre. She freezes Jay's body and reaches for her toolbox.
She actually was a woman who was very well-versed with tools. Her neighbors would say that when they heard a saw going, they would joke, "Oh, there's Marjorie again with her saws."
When one is using a jigsaw to dismember a frozen body, there will be no smell, and there will be no or very little blood. When one is cutting frozen tissue, it's like going through wood.
To me, this shows an utter disregard, total contempt for the man that he once was. He meant nothing to her. His remains meant nothing to her.
With Jay on ice and the evidence cleaned up, Marjorie has almost committed the perfect murder. But greed is her undoing. She discovers that with no body, there's no insurance payout for another 7 years. Marjorie Orban can't wait that long.
She did what she needed to do. She took part of the remains and she dumped them out there where she knew people were walking through. It was obviously intentional.
Marjorie needs police to find Jay's body. But to a forensic pathologist like Janis Amatuzio, a dead body holds many clues.
The art of identifying tool marks on bone is quite sophisticated. The particular striations or marks on the bone can be compared to a class or a type of pattern of saw blade.
Blades found in Jay Orban's workshop match the marks on his bones. The next piece of evidence helps clinch the case. Marjorie is caught on security camera, buying the same storage containers that Jay's body is found in. Marjorie Orban is found guilty and sentenced to life without parole.
She will spend every day for the rest of her life behind bars. She will be there until her hair turns gray and time has erased all trace of beauty from her face. I think that's the only loss I think Marjorie is actually sad about.
A few years ago, I had to get a post office box because a lot of our mail.
Russell Steger is a man afraid.
Seemed to be disappearing when she got home first.
Afraid of his own wife.
Now, here's my question. Why every time I turn around is she running off to the post office box?
The high school football coach puts his fears on tape, just in case. But what kind of monster has her husband running scared? Durham, North Carolina, 1988.
Barbara was kind of like the pillar of the community. She was church-going, Sunday school teacher.
To the outside world, Barbara Steger seems a fine, upstanding woman.
She was very active in her church. She was the first one to show up with a casserole or a cake when someone was ill or if there was a death.
Jo Lynn Snow knew the couple, especially Russell. She was his first wife, and they stayed close.
Russ was so full of life, and he loved kids. He loved coaching. That was his real calling in life, was reaching the kids.
Russell's hasty remarriage comes as a shock.
We were divorced on one day, and he married Barbara the next day. So I was a little surprised that he moved that quickly. But he seemed very happy, and I really hoped it would work out for him.
Barbara Steger is not who she seems.
Darling, where are we going to get the money for all this?
When you're dealing with public, you never know. They present themselves one way, but they're actually another.
She's a woman with dark secrets. One is her addiction to money.
Barbara's sense of self-worth was very much tied to spending money. Unfortunately, she didn't have that money to spend to make her feel good.
Russell can't control his wife's spending.
She was obtaining loans, and she was lying on the loans. She was forging Russ's signature, and then she was getting one loan to pay off another loan. Then she'd get a loan to pay off that loan, and so on down the road.
Lying and stealing aren't Barbara's only sins. In Russell's fearful tape recording, he describes another vice.
When I was coming back through the parking lot, I saw our other car sitting there in the parking lot just alone by itself. I could see 2 people in the car. Kind of thought that it was my wife, but I couldn't really see that much, so I got closer to it, and sure enough, she was in the car making out with some guy.
Yeah, what's going on? Who is this guy?
He had found her with another man on the day that her grandmother was to be buried. He was just devastated.
And she turned it around on me. She said it was because I wasn't giving her enough affection.
Barbara loved men. She was having affairs when she was married to Russ.
It was just a parade of men.
Barbara is addicted to sex.
What does appear to be there is a very, very strong, powerful disorder, anxiety disorder, that was only quelled by momentary sexual encounters, orgasm, and spending money.
Barbara has broken 3 commandments, and Russell Steger thinks there might be a 4th: murder.
She had a former husband who died, and he was starting to really wonder about the circumstances of that husband's death.
Larry Ford was accidentally shot dead in his own bed. Barbara was the only witness.
As he turned to leave, he said, "If anything should ever happen to me, will you promise me that you'll look into it?" And I promised him that I would.
It's a promise she'll soon have to keep. Russell Steger's wife, Barbara, is out of control. She has lied to him, stolen from him, and cheated on him.
He was really questioning who this person was. Who was he married to?
Now Russell is finally unraveling her web of lies. And he's desperate to record his fears.
A few years ago, I had to get a post office box because a lot of our mail that was coming to our house, bills and stuff, seemed to be disappearing when she got home first.
He told me that he would find her sometimes in the middle of the night taking the key off of the keychain.
Why every time I turn around is she running off to the post office box unless there's something inside that she wants to hide?
He knew then that she was pilfering through the post office box, so even that wasn't safe.
Barbara is starting to feel the heat.
She was about to be exposed for stealing and spending excessively once again, and she didn't want him to find out.
But how far will she go to keep a secret? Just before dawn on a winter's morning, Barbara is woken by a mysterious noise.
When the first officers arrived on the scene, Barbara told them that she had removed a handgun from under Russ's pillar,
What's happened here, ma'am?
and that while she was removing it, it accidentally discharged.
And it just went off. It was just accidental. And I've said to him...
The problem is, it's an accident she's had before.
And then so I got Russell's gun. Well, you know, he keeps it under the pillow, and I just dragged it.
With her first husband, Larry Ford.
And, you know, went off.
When we learned about Larry Ford's death, that sent off a lot of signals, particularly when we learned that he was killed under similar circumstances. Same kind of weapon, at his house, happened in the middle of the night, just like Russ. So that raised all kinds of flags.
It was just accidental.
Something about Russell's shooting just doesn't add up.
In the house, because, you know, they're really dangerous and everything.
Russ was an expert in firearms. He was in the National Guard.
You know, sometimes they just go off.
He was an excellent marksman. He was a safety fanatic. I knew that he would have never, ever slept with a gun under his pillow.
The police are also skeptical.
The gun, it had two safeties on it. It has a real small trigger guard. It was not a hair trigger. In order to fire that weapon, you have to intentionally insert your finger in the trigger guard and pull the trigger. I don't think there's any way you could accidentally discharge it.
The chances of a woman losing her husband in her own home to an accidental gunshot wound is extremely remote. That it would happen twice to the same woman is mathematically probably impossible.
Barbara's story is falling to pieces. She's now the prime suspect in a murder. And the evidence is tied together by a voice from beyond the grave.
This is Russell Steger. This is January 29th, 1988, and it's 10 of 2.
That tape was made on a Friday afternoon. He was shot and killed the following Monday morning. But to know that he went into that weekend, his last weekend alive, so afraid for his life, it was overwhelming to hear that.
When I was coming back through the parking lot, I saw our other car.
I don't think she thought she was going to get caught. Why would she? She got away with it once before.
Barbara Steger claims innocence. A jury finds otherwise. Convicted of murder, she's sentenced to life in prison.
I think we've saved a third man, because I think she would have married again, and she would have reverted back to the same thing, because Barbara is a greedy person. She's all about the dollar.
When the trial ended, I spent a day and I went to all of the places where we had lived. And at that point, I said my goodbye to Russ. I still carry him with me. Sometimes I try to enjoy things 2 times, once for me and once for him.
It's early morning in Selmer, Tennessee. Pastor's wife, Mary Winkler, is taking her daughters on a road trip.
She was taking them to the beach. She had always wanted to take them to the beach. The father, Matthew, had always promised to take them to the beach.
Okay, girls. Who wants to go to the beach, huh? Me! Okay, who wants burgers?
She wanted to take her girls to the beach to enjoy one last day before their lives as they knew them ended.
When the Winkler family is missing from church that night,
Hello, Matthew? Mary?
elders go to their home to find out why.
Everything looks in place. It's quiet. There doesn't seem to be any reason to be concerned.
Matthew? Mary? Matthew?
Until they walk into the marital bedroom.
Matthew? Drew, quick, come in here!
And there they find the body of their preacher laying dead and cold on the floor.
When Sergeant Roger Rickman attended the murder scene that day, he had no idea of the storm that was brewing.
We really wasn't sure what had happened. Mary was not there, the children were not there. We didn't know that, that they had been abducted or what.
Selmer is about to become the center of a case that will divide the country and shake a devoted congregation to its core.
You have enticed me, and I was enticed. For whenever I speak, I must cry out.
For 2 years, Matthew Winkler has been pulpit minister at the 4th Street Church of Christ.
Matthew came from a line of preachers, his father and grandfather. That's what he did in life. That was his vocation.
Matthew's career means he is always in the spotlight, and so is his wife, Mary.
If you're a preacher or a preacher's wife or a preacher's child in a small town, you're constantly under a microscope.
But away from the eyes of the congregation, Mary is under even more intense scrutiny.
Look, we got French fries. They're really yummy.
Now that's a healthy meal, isn't it?
He expected more of Mary than anyone should expect of a human being.
Yeah, sure you can.
This was a marriage where the husband was in charge and made all the decisions. He would lose his temper. He would belittle her.
How many times do I have to tell you not to buy junk food for the kids?
A little treat every now and then, Matthew. It won't hurt them.
But I don't want them to get fat like you.
He was, I believe, very emotionally abusive.
Criminal profiler Candice DeLong believes years of subservience took their toll on Mary's self-esteem.
We know the effects of ongoing verbal abuse from a husband to a wife has a long-term deleterious effect. It beats the spirit down.
Throw that in the bin.
They begin to believe what the offender is telling them, which is that they're worthless.
Don't talk back to me. That's your ugly coming out in you.
Then one night, Mary receives a mysterious email that seems to offer a chance to prove she's not worthless.
She never could seem to make ends meet, and she saw what she thought was an opportunity. But unfortunately, her solution to financial difficulty was to get involved in what is commonly called a Nigerian scam.
Mary falls prey to an online fraud that sinks the Winklers deep into debt. Her secret plan to prove herself has backfired, and she can't bear to admit her failure to Matthew.
She couldn't find any way to sit down with her husband and say, I screwed up. I'm sorry.
I believe she kind of got in over her head over that, and she didn't want Matthew to find out about it, and I think that's why she done what she done to him.
Dawn on March 22nd, 2006. The last day of Matthew Winkler's life.
That morning, the baby was crying. We knew that Matthew liked to sleep. He kicks her out of the bed and go make the baby shut up. Matthew comes in, pinches the baby's nose, and holds his hand over the baby's mouth.
Matt, stop it! She can't breathe!
Horrified, Mary's protective instinct takes over.
Mary said that he suffocated the baby. That was Mary's choice of words. A momentary squeeze like that I would not call suffocation, but Mary did. And I think that raised up some internal rage.
Mary is seething. She wants to confront Matthew.
I think she was at her wit's end, and now she wasn't the one being punished. Her children were being punished.
But Mary knows her husband won't listen to her unless he's not given a choice.
She said that he always said that a shotgun like the one he had would make a hole this big in you. And that made her think that a shotgun would get his attention.
Get up. Get up, Matthew. I want to talk. I want to talk.
A tranquil morning in Selmer, Tennessee.
I do not think that Matthew Winkler spent 1 minute of one day of his life ever thinking that he had anything to fear from Mary Winkler.
Get up. Get up, Matthew. I want to talk.
Pastor's wife, Mary Winkler, has decided to stand up to her husband after years of abuse. What happens next remains in dispute to this day.
We only know what the physical evidence shows us, and we only know what Mary tells us. Mary got the shotgun to get his attention.
Get up. Get up, Matthew. I want to talk.
It's possible when Mary was holding the shotgun on Matthew that she did not intend to kill him, possibly that she was intending to scare him, taking back her own life. It is entirely possible that was her intention. Things didn't work out that way.
She shot Matthew in cold blood while he was sound asleep.
In my opinion, he never got out of bed. She just come in there in cold-blooded murder and shot him.
But that's not the way Mary's defense team sees the shooting.
There were some pillows on the floor where he had kicked her out of the bed earlier that morning. And I believe that she lost her footing.
Get up, Matthew, I want to talk.
Finger was on the trigger and it went off unintentionally.
Did she intentionally shoot him? I don't know. I can't say. I don't believe she did. I believe that our theory was that she either lost her balance standing on some pillows that he had kicked off the floor, or she went into some type of catatonic state and shot him and doesn't remember shooting him.
Investigators later find the telephone disconnected.
The telephone had been unplugged from the wall, in my opinion, to keep him from calling 911.
Taking the shotgun, Mary leaves her husband to die.
Then she took her 3 little girls, packed them into their car, and hit the road.
For 2 days, America holds its breath, fearing the worst for Mary and her kids. The search for them ends in Orange Beach, Alabama.
There was no one holding Mary. There was no one threatening her girls. It was just Mary and her 3 little girls at the beach. It was time for Mary to answer for what she'd done.
Just place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand.
Put on trial for her husband's murder. It is Mary who will emerge as the victim.
Mary painted a picture of a horribly victimized woman on the witness stand.
Marriage lasted right at 10 years. I believe it was 10 years of hell.
Mary's defense centers on 3 kinds of abuse she claims to have suffered at the hands of her husband: emotional, physical, and sexual.
She said that Matthew forced her to commit sexual acts that she didn't want to do. He made her dress up in tardy shoes and wear wigs and wear slutty skirts. He made her do oral sex. He made her do anal sex. And this was outside of prescribed behavior for Christian couples in her mind. That's what Mary claimed in that courtroom.
According to author Diane Fanning, many of Mary's claims lacked proof or substance.
I just didn't buy those arguments. To me, to be sexually abused means that someone has to commit a sexual act on you that you don't want, and you've clearly stated you don't want it. And yet, Mary, after her trial, sat there on the Oprah Winfrey Show and said to that woman, "If I ever said no, Matthew stopped right away. In fact, if I ever flinched, Matthew stopped right away."
As proof of physical abuse, Mary points to a black eye she had suffered in previous months.
One time she was playing softball and a ball bounced up and hit her. Well, it hit her in the facial area. She had told us that later on he had jabbed her in that same area.
Have you seen my Mary's eye? Hopefully she learned to keep her eye on the ball.
Actually, I don't believe very much of anything she said in the trial. I think it was all made up, prefabricated, and the jury bought into it.
The jury's verdict will be one of the most controversial in Tennessee history.
They kicked out first-degree murder. They even kicked out second-degree murder. They settled on a manslaughter charge, and then the judge pronounced the verdict. He gave her a 3-year sentence, but he made 2 of it on probation. Then he took away the time she served in jail before she got out on bail. And suddenly Mary had a sentence of 61 days remaining to serve. So Mary, who shot her sleeping husband in the back, would serve 2 months in prison, and part of it in a mental health facility, and nothing more. Mary got away with murder.
For defense attorneys Leslie Ballin and Steve Faris, the verdict is a triumph of justice.
It was an outstanding outcome. We took a person who had no voice in the system, and we spoke for her. We gave her what I believe was a good defense, an honest defense, a true defense, and we saved her life.
Today, Mary has custody of her 3 children and has begun a new life.
It's a happy family, certainly one without a father in the house, but she is doing great now, just super.
I describe Mary as a cold, calculated murderer. She premeditated Matthew Winkler's murder, and she followed through with it. I'm actually today still concerned for her kids because, you know, if she could do this to her husband, she could do anything.
America remains divided about Mary Winkler. Is she a battered wife who killed by mistake? Or a cold-hearted murderer who remains dangerous? Death can occur in the most ordinary of places. In 1997, a husband's life ended here. His blood flowed down the gutter into the street.
He was just a good guy. He didn't deserve this kind of treatment from anyone. I still find it appalling to think about.
The first shot caused a tremendous amount of pain and panic. He managed to get out of the car. What was going on in his mind? I've got to run away. He may not even have suspected that the shooter was following him. He places the gun square against the back of the skull and pulls the trigger. This would have been the coup de grace.
What is it exactly that you do?
Software engineer.
Software engineer. Oh. Who's having the salad?
Oh, I am.
It's a nervous first date for computer programmer Bruce Cleland.
And the lobster marinade for you. Thank you. Oh, wow.
It looks good.
It sure does.
Okay.
This is a meal.
I think some people would call him maybe just a nerdy computer geek.
Yeah. I'm a software engineer.
Right, yeah.
I'm working.
He didn't have much in the way of personal contact with women. Didn't date when he was in high school and even in college. So he had almost no contact with women before he met Rebecca.
Really, it's a big project. Oh, God. Oh. I'm sorry, did I wet you? No.
Bruce's date, Rebecca Salcedo, is his polar opposite.
Bruce is a timid, shy man, but Rebecca was fun, sexy, outrageous, generous, exciting, a terrific person to know. She just attracted men like magnets.
Rebecca finds Bruce just as attractive, for a very different reason.
Anyway.
Bruce is the kind of men women like Rebecca look for. He didn't stand a chance.
Bertha Awana used to be Rebecca Salcedo's best friend. She remembers the night she discovered exactly why Rebecca was interested in Bruce.
Thank you. Cheers, girlfriend.
She wanted me to meet the man that she was going to marry. I said, well, where is he? And she's like, oh, no, he's not here. I just want you to meet him through this. So she handed over a paper. And I said, what is this? And she says, this is his credit report. Look at it. And I saw like he had all these high credit limits and all these credit cards.
Oh my God. His wallet is packed with credit cards.
And I just laughed because she was silly that way. So I just took it like, okay, whatever. You know, it's another one of her silly games.
Trading love for money is a game Rebecca's been playing since she was a teenager.
When she was 15, she married a man so she can get him his green card. He was gonna pay a lump sum of money. And I was not comfortable with that at all. I just thought it was the wrong thing to do. And that's when I began to see that she was very interested in money.
Coming from a poor family of Mexican immigrants, Rebecca has a dream. A dream of being rich. And she'll use her best assets to get there.
She would like to wear very low-cut dresses and expose herself whenever she had the opportunity. And she used that to her own advantage in her relationships with men.
When she went to a bar, I don't think she ever bought a drink in her life. She would go to a bar and she would always, all night long, have somebody buying the drinks for her.
Rebecca's latest catch will be picking up a lot more than the bar tab. Her plan is to take him for everything he's got.
Marry me.
And Bruce just walked right into her trap.
I love it.
And he fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
But this whirlwind romance won't have a fairy tale ending.
It just shocked me that she would be capable of such a horrible thing.
You need a top-up, girlfriend.
A bachelorette party for Rebecca Salcedo.
She was very outgoing. She had a kind of a bubbly personality. People liked her. She was always the life of the party.
Despite being engaged, Rebecca likes her lovers tall, dark, and often.
She had numerous affairs with various men, including her own cousin, Alvaro, who was a male stripper.
The only man Rebecca's not sleeping with is her husband-to-be.
Rebecca had told Bruce that she didn't date much, that she had only been with one man, and that she could not have any relationships with a man until she was married.
I'm not like that. I'm a good girl.
I remember laughing about it, because she would tell me and I would laugh like, you gotta be kidding.
Truth of the matter was, Rebecca wasn't attracted to Bruce and didn't want to sleep with him, ever.
Crime writer Don Lasseter says Rebecca wasn't in love with Bruce. She was in love with his money.
He began buying her gifts. He bought her a spa for her backyard. He bought a boat with a trailer. Eventually, he even bought her a new SUV, and finally, a beautiful, expensive hilltop home in Whittier, California.
He also paid for her breast augmentation, nose job. She also had her lips done. Rebecca could just get you to do anything. She knew how to charm you.
Rebecca's teenage dreams of riches are coming true. Just weeks after her marriage to Bruce, she takes the final step in her plan.
Bye.
Kicking him out and filing for divorce.
Rebecca wanted a divorce so she could take half of everything Bruce owned.
You said I was gonna get half of everything.
But she found out she would earn nothing from that.
And how much is that?
She was only going to get half of anything that was earned during that period of time that they were actually living together, which was maybe about 2 months.
$5,000? Are you kidding me? What am I paying you for? Ah.
Prosecutor Ron Bowers believes this is where Rebecca's scheme went from devious to diabolical.
Rebecca, who had had her sights on having a beautiful home, having the new car, having all of the furniture, she was going to lose that all. She was not going to get that in a divorce settlement.
Rebecca refuses to give up on her dream and embarks on a deadly plan B.
In killing Bruce, she would get the life insurance as well as she would get his estate.
It is pitched as a night of reconciliation.
Poor Bruce thinks that she cares and wants to get back together, put the marriage back together.
Listen, we're gonna be there just after 1 o'clock. Don't be late.
The entire time,
And make sure
she's
you wait until I
making
reach the
cell
house
phone
before
calls
you
behind his back.
Okay, I gotta go. He's coming.
And of course, in Bruce's mind, I think, well, maybe we're going to patch things up.
Hi, sweetheart.
Maybe things are going to work out.
After a romantic dinner where Bruce is plied with alcohol, Rebecca pulls off the freeway.
She claims that she suddenly notices that there's a red light on the dashboard telling her the back hatch of the SUV is open. Oh, honey, I'll just stop and get out and shut it. And suddenly a man lunges out of the brush and begins shooting at Bruce.
The first shot shatters Bruce's jaw.
The killer follows and continues shooting. The gunman steps up and delivers a deadly shot to the back of Bruce's head. And then runs away. Rebecca is lying behind the SUV as if she had been attacked as well. Her shoes were off in perfect alignment as if they'd been placed in a closet. Police arrived quite quickly, and as soon as they arrived, she got up and said, oh, the carjackers hit me on the head. The police examined her head. No injuries at all. She shows no concern for her poor husband lying across the street with blood flowing down the gutter.
Of much greater concern to Rebecca,
she claimed, oh my, they stole my beautiful ring, they took my ring.
Her prized possession appears to be gone.
I think Rebecca actually thought she was going to pull this off, that she could plan his murder and get away with it. Everything she did was in furtherance of her own greed.
Rebecca's greed will also be her downfall. Wedding photographer Beth Lamb visits Rebecca just days after Bruce's death.
She talked as if she couldn't live without her husband, you know, the love of her life, and she didn't know how she was going to go on.
But Rebecca's sob story is unraveling.
I noticed that she had that huge engagement ring on. And then when I discovered that she was claiming it was stolen, I knew it wasn't. I saw it on her hand. So I was able to let the police know. They were able to get a search warrant and they found it.
Police also find forged life insurance policies. Rebecca stood to gain $1 million from her husband's death. She was also entitled to his entire estate.
Pure evil to marry someone and kill them for their money. You know, that someone could really be that calculating and evil.
Cell phone records reveal the identity of the assassins. Rebecca's cousin Jose and his brother, the stripper, Alvaro.
She really manipulated the two of them to do the dirty work that she wasn't capable of doing herself.
Sentenced to life in prison, Rebecca's dreams of riches lie shattered. Her lifelong friendships destroyed.
I never thought I would personally know someone that would be able to commit such a heinous crime. It still haunts me. Sometimes I dream about her and I just want to forget about her. It's just something that I want to erase out of my life.
Deep in the woods, a lonely farmhouse holds a grisly secret. Police are looking for a young man, reported missing.
When they went to the burn barrel, they looked in to see what was there.
Jeez, what is that?
They found a bone with a glob of burnt flesh on the knob. It was obviously a human bone.
It's the first clue to a crime whose horrors are beyond imagining.
I went, oh my God. Oh my God. What did she do to my son?
Sheila Labar is every mother's worst nightmare. Epping, New Hampshire. A typically quiet New England town. Until Sheila Labar arrives.
She's very smart. She would use her wits, use her charm, her Southern accent.
Well, don't you look fine?
Hi, baby.
Wow, you like it?
You like it?
I think it's just so sexy.
She's incredibly confident. She was not afraid to flirt.
I know it's a little bit delicate, but it's my favorite design.
She uses more than simple charm to capture the attention of wealthy doctor Wilfred Labar.
Thank you. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I think we...
Wilfred Labar placed a Lonely Hearts ad in a magazine looking for some company. Sheila saw this ad and responded to it by sending topless Polaroid photos of herself. You can imagine if you are in your 60s and you're widowed, it wasn't much longer before Sheila moved from Alabama to Dr. Labar's farm.
As local journalist Kevin Flynn discovers, Sheila is a demanding partner.
A lot of people said to Dr. Labar, you gotta get rid of her. He just seemed unable to extract himself from that relationship.
Soon her control over the doctor is complete.
Slowly, what Sheila would do was ask Dr. Labar for power of attorney, and she started rewriting his will. And she made herself the executress of the will.
A few years later, Dr. Labar is dead.
The coroner said it was heart disease, but a lot of his relatives are not sure. They think that Sheila might have poisoned him, in order to speed up the process of getting the farm.
Sheila inherits Dr. Labar's farm. Soon, she entices young men to share the work and her bed. But living with Sheila has its price.
We spoke to a number of neighbors that would see badly beaten young men sort of walking up the road from her house.
District Attorney Kirsten Wilson says the farm became a sadistic playground.
It's an isolated farm. I think it was all about control.
You were supposed to have done this hours ago.
Young men who
Come on, get
are either loners or mentally maybe incredibly trusting. It's all about controlling them.
Oh, get to your feet, you pathetic pedophile!
Sheila was just a really mean person.
God, you're disgusting. Not you. No, you're beautiful.
She had an unnatural control over people. It was unholy. It was as if she got a gift from the devil.
In February 2006, Sheila is on the prowl for a new victim. Someone innocent and defenseless. Someone like Kenny County.
Kenny was a lovely, lovely boy. He couldn't do enough for you. Everybody was his friend. I was so proud of him.
Carolyn Lodge is Kenny's mother.
He never had a horrible word for anybody, and that was the problem. He trusted everybody.
Kenny has a low IQ. His childlike trust leads him into a terrible trap.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Sheila. It's Kenny.
Oh, hi, Kenny. How are you?
I'm good.
And he told my son Brian that he met a 47-year-old woman in New Hampshire.
Maybe this Wednesday, if you wanted to meet up and...
She owned a farm. She owned a beautiful car,
Kenny, I would love to meet you.
and she was rich.
You are in for a wild time.
And he was serious about her.
I think I know exactly what would make you happy.
Oh.
She chose that person.
I think you should come over.
Someone who was physically weak and mentally weak.
I guess so. Yeah.
And she did it because she could feed her sadistic fantasies that way.
Great. Well, I guess I'll see you soon then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
She came down in her car and picked him up, and he never came back.
Those. Got them?
Sheila Labar is a woman with a deadly passion. Her prey are young men.
She used her feminine wiles to get their attention, and then she isolated them from everyone else, and then began the torture, psychological as well as physical.
Kenny County is her latest victim. Tonight, his mistress is taking him shopping.
What the hell are you looking at? You don't see anyone in a wheelchair before?
Kenny couldn't walk. He had bruises all over his face. His complexion was an odd color of green. The people who worked at the store were really concerned about him.
Good afternoon, Miss Labar.
For weeks, Kenny has been in the clutches of a master manipulator.
That's ridiculous. From who?
You all right?
Hey.
You look off.
Hey, don't talk to me. You don't have to
Kenny
answer.
didn't ask for help.
You don't have to answer anything.
He was
you
under
don't
Sheila's
want.
spell, and that's what Sheila wanted.
Now, if you don't mind, we'd like to leave.
You okay?
When they left that store that night, that was the last time Kenneth County was seen alive.
Weak, defenseless, Kenny County is in grave danger. Late one night, Sheila makes a frenzied call to police.
He's a pervert. He's a child molester. Kenner County. I can prove it.
Sergeant Gallagher received a telephone call from Sheila, and she seemed somewhat frantic.
Sheila obsessively records everything she does.
It was a very disturbing tape that he listened to over the phone. Ken was being interrogated by her.
On the tape was my son vomiting.
Kenny County is faking vomiting. Get up, Kenny!
And she kept saying, he's faking, he's faking.
Get up! You're an evil pedophile, aren't you, Kenny?
Yes.
You're raping men.
Now he's a pedophile. Raping children, raping his brother. He's vomiting.
When she was urged to kill, to make it easier for herself, she had to fantasize that the men she was killing were pedophiles.
I think all right. Yes. The tape's all true. Every single
Used to her eccentric calls, police decide to investigate the next morning. What they don't realize is that Kenny County is already dead.
What probably happened was that eventually Kenny realized he was in some sort of danger. And I think he might have lashed out in self-defense.
You want to rape your mother, don't you, Kenny? Talk right, Kenny! Right!
And I think that's what finally triggered Sheila into a homicidal rage. There was blood on the walls, on the floor. There were puddles. There was spray. It was a bloody mess.
With her victim dead, Sheila calmly sits and watches him burn.
He was dismembered. Sorry. And he was put in a pit and burnt. But my son, he just wanted to be loved. I can't imagine what he must have been thinking. Because he was so all alone.
While Sheila tries hard to destroy Kenny's body, forensic evidence gives her away.
There was some readily apparent blood spatter. And Carolyn had told us that he had been in the Army for a while. And at that point, we crossed our fingers and hoped that they may have a DNA sample. And they did, luckily for us.
A wallet is found in the septic tank.
Oh, get to your feet.
It belongs to Michael DeLong, another young man who had fallen prey to Sheila LaBarre. Convicted of 2 murders, suspected of more, Sheila LaBarre is currently serving 2 life sentences.
The fact that she has to remain for the rest of her life behind bars, she got what she asked for. She'll never see the light of day. Horrible thing is, my son is not here with me. He was only 24.
It's after midnight on the edge of a ranch stock pond in Texas. Wendy Davidson has something she desperately needs to hide.
She knew that if she dumped him in water, his body would rise to the surface pretty fast. So she gathered some heavy auto parts and concrete blocks and things. She tied these things to his body.
The body belongs to her husband, Air Force Sergeant Michael Severance.
This man was a hero. He survived 5 tours of duty in the Middle East. And yet, he couldn't survive 5 months of marriage to that woman.
On the outside, Wendy Davidson looks like a smart, successful vet.
Okay, open wide. Good doggy.
But Wendy's family makes life complicated. Wendy has been married to Michael Severance for 5 months. But no matter how hard he tries, Michael can never satisfy his new mother-in-law.
Wendy was very torn by the conflict between her parents and Michael. Wendy was tied to her parents. They were helping her financially to get her practice going. Her mother was working in the clinic almost every day. She was bound to them by emotional bonds that just could not shatter.
When Michael and Wendy plan a visit to his father in Maine, Wendy's mom doesn't like the idea. The pressure is wearing Wendy down.
Somehow, Wendy, in her self-centered, vainglorious way, decided that this was the solution to her problem. That if she got rid of Michael, her life would be fine. It was irrational, it was heartless, it was cold. But that's how Wendy's mind worked.
In January 2005, Les Severance waits for his son and his grandchild to arrive for their first visit to Maine.
I come through the door, pumped, let's go. We gotta go pick up Mike. And they give me the news that Mike's not coming. Nobody knows where he is.
Wendy says her husband, has mysteriously gone missing. A father's instincts say something is wrong.
It was just all piling up that something is amiss here. That something's not right.
Late at night, Wendy Davidson desperately scours the internet. Her searches will leave clues to a murder.
Two things in particular on the computer were a query on polygraph examinations, and then another query on the decomposition of body in water.
As Texas Ranger Sean Palmer begins investigating the disappearance of Michael Severance, Michael's wife, Wendy, becomes the prime suspect.
Surveillance information showed that Wendy Davidson traveled to a ranch that we knew she had access to.
On that ranch is a pond with her dark secret.
The Texas Department of Public Safety dive team assisted with the search of the pond and ultimately discovered Michael Severance's body.
"2,000 miles away, in Maine, Michael's father receives grim visitors.
And then when I pulled in the driveway, I see the Air Force plates. And I really had a hard time coming through the door. I stood out in the driveway for probably 15 minutes because I knew. They told me that they had found Michael's body in the pond.
As police close in, Wendy Davidson panics. She calls her family to a secluded cemetery and makes a strange confession.
She told her brother that I did not kill Michael Severance, but I disposed of his body. She said, because I knew someone in my family must have killed him, and I wanted to protect my family.
But all the evidence is pointing to Wendy.
One of the things that was critical in the investigation was the drugs that she kept at the clinic.
Wendy had altered her logs, covering up the missing drugs that killed her husband.
Law enforcement pieced together all the little bits of evidence and came up with a scenario. Friday evening, Wendy and Michael went out to celebrate the upcoming trip and to have dinner together and a few drinks, and came back to their apartment inside the clinic.
All right, here comes. 1 and 2. Yeah, you see that?
Law enforcement believes she put a little phenobarbital into the beer that Michael drank.
Man, I could really use a beer right now.
Then they believe the combination of the phenobarbital and the beer that night just put him right to sleep. They believe that when that happened, she pulled out a veterinary syringe, filled it with euthanasia, and slammed that thing into the center of his chest. And pushed down on the plunger, just as she would have done any dog on the table in her clinic.
Its effect would take place immediately, and death would ensue in 2 to 4 minutes. This type of death is relatively painless. They simply fall asleep and stop breathing.
After dumping his body in the stock pond, Wendy thinks she's finished the job. But the investigation later reveals another gruesome fact.
Wendy, a couple of days after her husband's death, had gone online and researched what a body does in water. And she went, oops, I made a mistake. I didn't put enough weights on his body. He is going to rise up to the surface.
Wendy returned to the pond.
She saw the body was indeed rising.
It's not difficult to sink a body, but it's very difficult to keep a body down once it begins to decompose. The process of decomposition and the manufacture of gas in the body is relentless and ongoing.
Wendy has to get rid of the evidence one more time.
She took out her blue veterinary knife and stabbed his body 41 times.
Mutilating a dead body of someone that you supposedly loved, pretty gruesome thing to do, pretty incredible thing to do. I think most people can't even begin to imagine themselves doing such a thing. So she got past whatever hurdles she had to get past to do it.
After her arrest, Wendy enters a plea bargain. Convicted of murder, she's sentenced to 35 years in prison. Wendy still claims she is innocent.
I truly believe she feared that Michael was going to leave her and try and get custody of their son.
This is something that you think of every day. This never goes away. Why did they kill little Mikey?